Disturbing allegations tonight against a Southwest Florida police department.
An officer is blamed for making mistakes on reports that gave accused drug dealers a get-out-of-jail-free card. Melissa Yeager joins us with her year-long investigation into the Acadia Police Department.
Well, we spent months gathering all of these documents, investigating some very serious allegations. The antique shops lend a Norman Rockwell air to Acadia. But on these very same streets, the integrity of the police is on the line.
When a police officer lied in a sworn affidavit, his credibility comes to issue.
Attorney Jimmy Rios says an officer lied on a report about his client. He claims former officer Byron Waters witnessed the deception.
September 2007, I was involved in a traffic stop in the city of Acadia.
It happened at 12:19 a.m. at the intersection of Mills and Gibson Streets. Waters and his boss, Sergeant Ken Bennett, stop Rios' clients, Tiffany Hamrick Frank, and her passenger, David Carr. Later, Officer Dayton Bolt shows up. They arrest Hamrick Frank and Carr for drugs. Bolt writes the report.
A couple of nights later, after the traffic stop was done, I read the police report and everything, and there was not true.
In the report, Bolt wrote he stopped the car, and he found drugs. Dispatch records show Bolt arriving at 1:21 a.m., more than an hour after the initial stop. After Rios learned about the report, he started asking questions.
We ultimately ended up deposing Detective Bolt over that issue, and where he actually admitted to his perjury.
In the deposition, Rios asks, quote, "Detective Bolt, have you ever knowingly perjured yourself on any affidavit?" Bolt answers, quote, "Yes, sir, I have."
If this officer was willing to invent a police report in one person, then there has to cast doubt in every case that he has.
Call for Action found several other cases where Bolt either leaves out or gets key facts wrong.
I'm going to go to Low Street to purchase 2 bags of marijuana.
On this bust, Bolt's report leaves out that there's a second confidential informant who says this.
We should twist his and we lost the evidence.
On another bust, the report is for someone named Nakia Hatcher. But listen, Bolt gets the name wrong.
It's going to go to the house on Bond Street where Hezekiah Moody, a.k.a. Cowboy, will be serving crack cocaine.
On another bust, he gets the suspect's name wrong again.
Going to Stupid, a.k.a. well, actually, his name is actually Kenya Wilson, a.k.a. Stupid.
His mistakes didn't go unnoticed. Sergeant Ken Bennett issues Bolt a written reprimand in January of 2008 for waiting 24 days to complete a report and not entering stolen items into a federal database. Bolt receives another reprimand in November for writing inaccurate reports and a third in December. During that time, he also receives 2 pay raises.
And when a police officer lied in a sworn affidavit, his credibility comes to issue. And not only does it affect my immediate client, but it may affect other people.
On December 4th, 2008, the state attorney's office calls the police about information missing from yet another case.
It's a very big domino effect, because once once the fact that he had perjured himself came out, then it calls into question every case behind it or in front of it.
Which is exactly what happened. The public defender found out and forced the dismissal of 13 drug cases. Bolt resigned. His resignation letter says, "Since the state attorney's office will no longer honor any of my cases, I would have to resign." We tried to talk to the head of the department, Marshal Charles Lee, about why Bolt wasn't fired. He wouldn't speak with us on camera, but gave us documents he said would explain things and told us an FDLE investigation cleared Bolt criminally. We tried to contact Dayton Bolt. Even with 2 cars in the driveway, no one answered. Bolt's credibility plays into another case involving his boss.
I mean, that's the real issue, is how far, or how to correct, and how far did it go?
Bolt turned in Ken Bennett for allegedly taking teenage boys to a Fort Myers hotel, offering them drugs and alcohol, then having sex with them. Bolt played a major role in investigating the case. A separate investigation found incriminating evidence, but Bennett's attorney wants the case thrown out. He believes Bennett was a target for retribution because he blew the whistle on other issues in the department. 2 months after Waters resigned, police suddenly filed a report against him. accusing him of stealing lights from a patrol car. Those charges were dropped.
I still feel good about being honest. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Marshall Lee says a supervisor was supposed to approve Bolt's report, and that supervisor was Bennett. He also says Bennett and Waters have a beef with the department because both former officers filed ethics complaints about the department.
But then we still have now a lot of cases that are up in the air because of all of this information or misinformation, as it turns out.
Exactly. And there are some people, there's at least one case I know of a gentleman who is in prison who Bolt investigated his case.
I'm sure we'll hear more about that. All right, Melissa.